I could reap the benefits and spend those retirement years with the woman I loved, and it would be awesome, and I worked so hard. And the day after I retired, she died. Just wanted to talk a little bit about what I see as one of the issues facing lots of companies at the moment. Imagine this as being a universe, and the sun is your brand in the middle. And all the planets that surround the sun get the glow from the brand. So you've got the TV, you've got direct, you've got social media, you've got PR, you've got out of home, which is posters and billboards, guerrilla, promotional, point of sale, mobile, event. You could add more planets to it. The more complicated your market is, you could add more planets. What tends to happen is all too many companies ignore that. And they tend to have all these planetary needs, so to speak, and they become reactionary, like, oh my God, we've got to get a website done. So they do the website, and they said, oh, we need some video, oh, we need some posters. So until you've established the core of your universe, until you've built this sun in a solid way, which is internally focused first and foremost, and then establish a way of speaking and a way of being, it's difficult to accomplish all these planets around it. So go back and think about how what does your sun look like? And it will really help, because if you single-mindedly chase a look and a feel that is just that, single-minded, it'll affect and make all your marketing work together. So that's the marketing universe with a sun. So let's talk a little bit about unique selling proposition. I mean, every brand has an inherent unique selling proposition, and I just illustrated that through the Columbia Bank, the Landmark Bank. So I urge you to really dig for and find what it is that makes you different. And as I noted, in a Me Too industry like financial services, you tend to have to go to things that are outside the norm, take the checklist of all the things that everybody else does. And if there's one thing, and it might be a name, it might be somebody it might be a history point in your company, it might be just a way that has, you do business which is very different. Those are the sweet spots to own your space. It's telling powerful stories. It's amazing how much people remember if you tell a well-told story. I was working with Trinell Financial in Libertyville, and going through the process that I go through, where I say, okay, tell me about what you do, tell me what makes you different. I said, just talk to me about retirement. And they said, well, we are one of the foremost financial services companies in Lake County, and we do 401ks. And they gave me that, again, that Me Too list of things. And I said, okay, that sounds very generic to your industry. Is there anything that illustrates how you do business differently? And they said, well, you know, we're very customer service centric, and that again sounds very, very generic. Everybody says we're customer service because it's almost the price of entry. So I said, well, actually I have a story to tell you, and this actually happened to me. I was sat at my wedding table with my wife, and the speeches were just about to happen, and her aged grandfather came up and he stands behind us and he puts his arms around us like this. And he just says, I worked all my life saving every penny I could, so when I retired, I could reap the benefits and spend those retirement years with the woman I loved, and it would be awesome, and I worked so hard. And the day after I retired, she died. So that struck me, and it struck the room. He said, I'm telling you that retirement is about living for today, so spending some of the money you have today, but putting something down for the future. He said, that's my philosophy on retirement planning. And I told this to Rock Trinell, and he said, wow, that's a powerful story. I said, if I was in a competitive situation with you, and you just said, well, we are Trinell Financial and we just do these products and services, and I gave my story about understanding the power of retirement, I said, even with my limited knowledge of retirement planning, I think people would gravitate to me because I tell the audience that I understand what retirement is in a way that's compelling. And also people remember messages. People remember messages wrapped in a powerful story way more than 3 or 4 lines about a product and service that is very generic and nobody cares. Human insights. Human insights are the little home truths that happen to people, and you go, they kind of bring out the human side in you. Something really strange happened the other day. I'll take my watch off for this. I was talking to those of you who have iPhones, I was talking to my daughter and I said, oh, I got this mole on my arm here. Look at this mole. And I started to do this. I was literally trying to expand the view on my hand. So, I mean, I was thinking, wow, that is a human truth. The other one I did the other day, which made me laugh, was I locked the car and I walked to the house and I went, boop, boop, and I'm trying to open the house with my keys. That is a human truth. And it's amazing that if you can use human truths in your marketing, you get the reaction that I just got there, because people go, oh, well, that's me, I do that. So part of understanding the human dynamic and understanding human truth, within your industries, your businesses, there are human truths to be found that you can hijack, if you will, and use to make people go, oh, that's me, I do that. Guerrilla marketing, I'm going to talk a little bit about guerrilla marketing with this fine chap here. Social media. Social media is probably the #1 misused marketing platform at the moment that there is, because so many companies know that they need to do it, but they're having the wrong dialogue. They're selling wares versus engaging in a relationship. And the best way to think about it is you want your Facebook pages and your connections to be friendly, non-threatening, non-salesy, just be a dialogue that is human, real, and about why they should like you as a human being and an individual. The rest will come. Those stories, I cannot tell you enough how storytelling is the very root of who we are as a species. Stories are a way, whether it's biblical stories or stories we tell as a joke, or stories allow us to wrap up information very neatly, very compellingly, and make people remember it. There's a great book which I urge you to read called Stickiness by Chip and Dan Heath. It's a great book about making your message stick, and they tell a story. And I actually saw Dan Heath present this. And he related a story that was, his friend was in South America, and he was sat at a bar, having done some business, and this beautiful woman came and sat next to him. So they shared a drink, and he thought, oh, this is very, interesting. The next thing, the guy woke up, and he was in a bath full of ice cubes. And he looked down, and he had a massive wound on his stomach, and there was a note on the bathroom wall that just said, call immediate help, your kidneys have been harvested. I'm saying that story because it's kind of human, it's kind of shocking. It is an urban myth, but it's a story that will stay with you, and I guarantee you could probably retell that story 10 minutes. You'd probably tell it tonight, you could probably tell it in a month, you could probably tell it in a year, because it has all the elements of drama. It's human, you can easily imagine yourself in that situation. So you imagine the power of using stories that are well told like that. So if you can find a story, and it doesn't have to be that grim, obviously, but you then think about the billions of dollars spent by advertising agencies trying to get you to remember one tagline or one phone number, and you watch a commercial and you immediately forget it. So stories it's kind of like the Trojan horse of marketing. You can gather a lot of information in a well-told stories and people will remember it. And then obviously the digital implications of it. I mean, we are living in a digital world. And the digital world has implications from the mobile phones we use to the online sites that we visit to it's surrounding us. I mean, it's a vehicle that we have to consider with every aspect of our thinking. But that said, going back to that universe with the sun and the planets all around it, if we get the brand right, it will fit neatly into any vehicle.